Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of Kurt on Cougs. This is the warm-up for the BYU versus Wyoming game, which will be happening in just over 15 minutes from when I'm recording this. And so, yeah, definitely an important game for BYU as they wrap up non-conference play. I'm coming to you from, don't know if you can read that behind me, but that's the BYU football stadium. So yeah, actually today I've been doing orientation and stuff. I got a party later tonight, kind of like a welcome to BYU type deal. So if it takes me a while to get out the post game, that'll probably just be because I'm at that. So I'll try to put out a post game tonight. It might have to wait till Monday or something, but yeah, so we'll have to see what happens there. But quick analysis of what we've seen today so far. Sorry, I got something in my throat. A few notable games were LSU winning the game day game. Close one, I believe a 3-point win over South Carolina. Boston College lost a close one to Missouri. So Missouri, I feel like, is solidifying themselves as a playoff contender. Other games of note, Texas Tech and Notre Dame, both coming off tough losses last week. Both of them rebound, scored 66 points, with the Irish winning 66-7 over Purdue, and Texas Tech winning 66-21 over North Texas. So big rebounds from those teams. In other news from the Big 12, a few games that caught my eye. For one thing, Kansas losing to UNLV. They've really struggled early, and I feel like this very much puts into doubt their potential as Big 12 contenders. Of course, never say never, but it ain't looking like they're going to be a big threat this year for the Big 12 title. Also, earlier today, Utah played Utah State, renewing an old rivalry. And early on, it was not pretty for the Utes with the absence of Cam Rising, and they ultimately won that game by 17, pulled away at the end. But overall, definitely a few signs for concern. Overall, I don't feel like this really invalidates at all any of the hype they've been getting as potential Big 12 champions. I think that's very much on the table, but this does show how any critics that want to say that Utah will not be doing that are pretty reasonable in their thought process. And that's honestly kind of the way I feel. I feel like, and this isn't just because I'm a BYU fan, I feel like, Utah, of course, returns a lot of good players who were injured last year, but the tough thing is when people return from injuries, unfortunately, oftentimes they do not return at full strength. And so expecting the entire huge group that were injured last year to return at full strength just doesn't make sense. And also, I believe they're in a tougher conference. I believe that Utah's going to be good this year, but I don't think they'll be playing in the Big 12 title game. And if Cam Rising goes down, things could be even tougher. Also, earlier today, West Virginia got beat by Pittsburgh. So a tough one for the Mountaineers as they come 1-2 into conference play. Now, previewing this game. Look, this is a game that BYU, it makes a lot of sense for them to be favored to win this one, as Wyoming has really struggled, especially on offense. They have one of at this point, the worst offenses in the country. And BYU's defense has also showed out really well. And so this could be a troublesome matchup for the Cowboys. And this is a game I fully expect BYU to dominate in. And if they're going to do so, though, here are my three deciding factors for this game. One is turnovers. This is one of the big things, especially when you are the favorite in a game. By the way, when you're playing against a team that you should beat, mistakes like turnovers are what can kill you and what can ultimately give them the spark they need to win that game. And so I think that's going to be important. You need to limit the turnovers, need to force some from Wyoming. As well as I feel like it's important for BYU to have a good, consistent run game. They don't need to have a great run game. They don't even need to be balanced with the passing game, but just a run game that will be able to get yardage on those short yardage situations and keep the defense honest. I feel like that's going to be really important. If BYU can do that and avoid the turnovers, the offense should have a very solid outing. In the meantime, on defense, I feel like a deciding factor is keeping Wyoming one-dimensional. So far this season, they have been third to last in the FBS for passing offense, only behind 2 of the service academies who, of course, run the option. So, yeah, it should be pretty tough for them to pass against BYU. So if BYU can make sure they keep the passing game out of it and force them to run the ball with their backup running back, that's going to make it really hard for Wyoming to make any big plays or be able to put up enough points to win this game. So those are my deciding factors for this game. And my final score prediction is that BYU will win this one by a final score of 35-10. So that's my prediction, my bold prediction for tonight. BYU will have a 100-yard rusher, something they have not had so far this season. And so, yeah, there you have it. Important game for BYU, a game I think they should win handily. Let's go Cougs.